Thanks for joining our webinar on what your new Information Office can do for you. I'm Audrey Imhoff, the Information Office Director at ACCE. In July 2011, ACCE launched a new Information Office website. This is the place for ACCE members to find answers to questions, benchmarking data, articles, links, and resources related to your work at the Chamber. In planning the Information Office, we had a few overriding goals. We wanted it to be easy for users to access what they're looking for. We wanted it to have an intuitive organizational scheme and to have an infrastructure that could be easily built upon, added to, and updated. Most importantly, we wanted to be sure that there was something for every staff person at a chamber and something for chambers of all types and sizes to serve our varied membership. We hope that you agree that we've met these goals. However, we're always eager for your input to make the ACCE Information Office even better. So feel free to email me if you have any comments. Now on to the website demo. The main screen has an introductory message here on the right. It has 9 icons that you see here, and we'll talk a lot more about those shortly. Then we have a featured information section. This section changes typically about once a week, and it's a great place to look to see if we have a new book that we're featuring, or a survey or a quick poll that we're asking you to take, or a new article that we've posted that we think might be interesting to you. Now on to these 9 icons. You'll see here that if you hover over the icons, then down at the bottom of the screen it tells you what they are. So this is a samples library, these are toolkits, this is the publications module, surveys and data. So that's the way to tell what you're looking at. I'm going to walk you through each one briefly. So the first icon here is for the samples library. I'm going to click on it. Now this is a members-only section of the website, and so it will require you to log in with your username and password. Once you're logged in, you should be able to navigate anywhere on the site without logging in again. I was already logged in, so it didn't ask me to log in. There are more than 1,000 sample documents in this library that have been created and used by your chamber colleagues across the country. You'll find everything from flyers and marketing materials promoting chamber events, to membership brochures, to position descriptions, to chamber bylaws, and ACE award entries. In the coming months, we're going to be weeding out older samples and adding new samples that are examples of best practices in our field. If you have documents that you believe are particularly high quality, relevant, and recently created or revised, definitely email them to me at aimhoff@acce.org, and I'll consider adding them to the samples library. One thing that you should know is that you can search here in this box, or you can browse by topic, or you can browse by sample type. You can't do a combination of those right now. We're hoping to change that in coming months. But for right now, you just want to do one or the other, the sample type. So that's one way to do your searching and browsing. I typically like to browse by topic. So for example, you could go to topic, and then you may want to go to governance and leadership. And you'll see there that quite a few different documents come up. There are 81 different documents specifically related to governance and leadership, although it's pretty easy to browse through them quickly by just going through the different pages. Searching works as well. So I'm going to go back to the Info Office homepage just so that we can stay with the icons, although you'll also notice that they are over here on the left-hand side. The next item, the next icon, is for Toolkits. Now, this is also for ACCE members only, although anybody can access this page to see what's here. We currently have a hiring toolkit, which walks a volunteer search committee through hiring a new CEO. That's this up here. Also, we have our National Image Campaign toolkits here, though they are a few years old. I think that people still find them really useful when they're launching a new communications and advertising campaign. We're also working on a Government Relations 101 toolkit, largely based on the ACCE book written by Mick Fleming, Making Your Chamber Make a Difference. But it will also have samples, articles, web resources, and templates. we're going to be working on a crisis management toolkit and a chamber basics toolkit for somebody new to the field, to name just a few. These toolkits offer written content, links, and templates on specific topics. And they've been described as plug and play because they quickly get you up to speed and ready to start on whatever topic is written about. Now back to the home page. The third icon is for topics A to Z. Go here if you know what you're looking for, but you don't know where to find it. Think of it as a glossary of the entire website. So, for example, if you're looking for something on Chamber Foundations, you can just go, but you don't know where you should look for that, you can just go here to Chamber Foundations. You can click on it. For some reason it's asking me to log in again. And then you'll see this Chamber Foundations page. So that topics A to Z area is really a good place to go if you already know what you want, but you just aren't exactly sure where to look. The next icon is for guidelines and standards. And this web page has information on CCE certification, the ACCE body of knowledge for the chamber profession, chamber accreditation through the U.S. Chamber. We also have our awards listed here because these showcase chambers and chamber staff who are meeting and exceeding standards in our field. We also have information on certificates of origin and standard definitions for our operations survey. Back to the home page. This middle icon is for the publications module, which is our bookstore. And in addition to the books that we've always traditionally offered through our bookstore, we are now featuring books written by our speakers at convention or panelists and by others in the chamber world. Additionally, we're listing some business books that have been popular and well received by ACCE members. We've also added this What We're Reading feature. And that allows us to feature one book a month that's recommended by one of your chamber peers. They'll tell you in just a sentence or two how they feel like this book relates to their work at the chamber and how it has impacted their work at the chamber. You can sort our bookstore by genre to help you quickly find what you're looking for. For example, if you saw somebody who you thought was great that was a convention speaker, you could sort that way. If you wanted to know what our CCE recommended reading list was, you could sort that way. And then you just hit go. And the What We're Reading feature will always stay at the top. You can see it's kind of offset in a different color. But then below that, you'll see these CCE recommended reading books. All right, back to the home page. This icon here is for Ask ACCE and Frequently Asked Questions. Ask ACCE is our virtual reference desk. We launched this in January 2011. Since then, we've been getting lots of questions from chamber staff all over the country about everything from non-dues revenue to the average number of people on a chamber board. To ask a question, you can either call me directly, here's my phone number here, or you can email me directly. We typically get back to people quicker than 24 hours, often within just a few hours, but you can definitely expect a reply within 24 to 48 hours. The other option is that if you already know what you need, you can go down here to this link and go use the contact form. And this contact form allows you to choose your topic, whatever your question is about, and then you can hit submit after you enter your question into this box. And that will allow your question to go to the person in our office who is the most knowledgeable person on staff about your specific question. Again, you should expect a reply within 24 to 48 hours. So I'm going to go back now to that main Ask ACCE and FAQ page. These frequently asked questions, basically we have populated them through questions that we've gotten from our Ask ACCE link. And you'll see this list here, and if you want to see the answer to the question, then you would just click on the text. So what is the right size for a chamber board? And usually it'll either give you some text right there or a link. So in this case, this will take you to our board composition and responsibilities Chamberpedia page. And that will give you information on the size of chamber boards, also links to other resources such as nonprofit board structure, size, and effectiveness, that type of thing. So I'm going to go back now to Ask ACCE and FAQs. Sometimes you'll also see this. What are some samples of dues structures and membership applications? Often we will give you a little bit of information right here under that question, as well as some links below it. All right, we're going to go back to the home screen. So you know we're also adding to these frequently asked questions continually so that we can keep updating it and adding to that library of questions that is available online without even having to contact us if you don't want to. This link here is for Chamberpedia, and I would call this the centerpiece of the new Information Office website. It's a members-only resource. We've organized samples, Chamber Executive magazine articles, and links to resources from authoritative sources based on the 11 primary topics that we work on at ACCE. Chamberpedia pages are wiki pages, meaning that ACCE members can edit the pages and add links to resources that they find useful. I'll give you an example of that right now. If you go to Economic and Community Development, first of all, you'll see that there is a description here. And most pages do have some type of description, sometimes definitions, as well as something about the division within ACCE. Then you'll see that there are links below that relate to specific topics about economic and community development within the Chamber. If you wanted to edit this page, you can just click Edit right here on the screen. And that takes you to a fairly easy editor. I'm going to cancel. And I'm going to go back to another Chamberpedia page. I'm going to give you a really good example of a place where we would love to see people adding to pages, and that is in events and programs. You'll see here a description of the different kinds of events and programs that Chambers of Commerce run. And then underneath, you'll see links to all these different types of events and programs. And this would be a great place for you to add your own events and programs. So let's go ahead and click on business advancement events. There'll be a brief description of why Chambers run business advancement events, and then some examples of business advancement events that we have in our samples library. Now, if you have a great example of this at your own chamber, this would be a great place to edit the page. And then you can scroll down, and you can add the link right here. This is just a fairly easy editor, and then you could hit Save. Maybe a link to your website for a business advancement event that you're proud of at your chamber. Once any page is edited, I receive an email and look at any updates and edit the page for formatting and accuracy. If you'd prefer to just email me with your own links and your own ideas for this page, that's fine too. Again, you can reach me at aimhoff@acce.org. All right, I'm going to go back to the main page. So Chamberpedia, like I said, is really the centerpiece of the Information Office website, and there is so much information there. I think it's a great resource that you should explore on your own, especially when you have a specific question in mind. It's hard to even really imagine the scope of all that we have there for you. And we are continuing to build that site ourselves, as well as wanting input from you. The next icon is Surveys and Data. This page is the home for our research division, headed up by Lisa Sohn. In addition to the major annual surveys, which is the Chamber Operations Survey, the Compensation and Benefits Survey, we are also publishing links to other smaller and less formal surveys that we conduct sporadically and with specific constituencies, and you can find those under Other Research. We are also conducting once a month quick polls and offering the results to those as well. So that's kind of ready-to-use information that might be a little bit less scientific in terms of data collection, but still, I think, useful and relevant. We also have links to some of the other big studies, such as the Shapiro study and the Cortera study, as well as others that we're finding out about every day. So this would be the Shapiro study, and here the Cortera study. So you know, if you're trying to access the operations survey, either the survey or the results, you should go to that main page and then follow the directions on that page for how to access it. All right, back to the home page. This last icon is for Chamber Executive Magazine. I don't think that this page has changed very much, if at all, but you can see some information about the magazine, and then you can look at the current issue online, and you can look at the issue archive or perform an article archive search to access the articles from Chamber Executive Magazine. The last thing that I want to tell you about is that we now also have an advanced search function on our website. Click on advanced search to get there, and you'll see that it allows you to search all these different modules. So if you're curious about some search tips, you can click here, and it will tell you how to perform a search with Boolean operators, how to use quotations to make for a search for an exact phrase. And I'll just give you a quick example of how this works. If you were to search for the word retention, we can just hit a search to perform a search in all these different modules. And then your results will be displayed based on the module that it's in: web pages, blogs, news results, samples, Chamberpedia results, so on and so forth. Well, this looks like an awful lot of results, and I think really, let's say in my case, I was talking about membership retention. So then what I'm going to do is put quotes, write membership retention, and say, you know, I really would only like to search in frequently asked questions. I don't want the business directory right now, document manager. I don't want a blog, don't want events. But I think that the rest of these look pretty good. Definitely Chamberpedia and samples. So I'm going to hit search and see what I get. And you'll see now that you're going to get far fewer results because it's only searching for the phrase membership retention. It's not searching just for anything that has the word retention in it. And you'll see that there's a magazine article, a couple web pages, 2 Chamberpedia pages, which, remember, will link you to all sorts of other things, including samples, as well as an FAQ result. So I think this is a much more manageable search than just doing a blanket search of the entire site. So we'll go back to the home screen now. So that's really all I have for you today. I hope that you have enjoyed this demonstration of the Information Office website. And please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions at all. Thank you very much.